The WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football, NFL, WNBA, NBA with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, a really raw, a villain raw. It's Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. What a season. What a season. What a postseason that the Liberty walk out as the WNBA champions. What? Yes. And then not only that, but we gave out a 35-1 MVP winner. Who's doing that? Who is doing that? Who? Nobody. It's us. We're doing it. Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, take the victory lap. We had a great year.
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, overall can't complain. Yeah, ended up sweeping my picks for Game 5 as well. I ended up having Stewie over the rebounds for the lock. That cashed in like the first half, basically. She was great on the boards. And for the dog, I had Liberty 1-10, which was a sweat and a half, but it got there. So overall, nice sweep there. In addition to that, we had the Lynx plus 1.5 games for the series. That got there. Called Liberty in 5. Yeah, Liberty in 5 got there. Jonquel MVP, 25-1, 35-1, whatever price you got. We also called that out. So overall, yeah, great finals for us, especially how it ended. I know I was struggling with the lock and dog picks early, but I swept the last episode, so can't complain. But overall, a very competitive series. The Liberty got the job done, and now we got to see how they can repeat.
I mean, Napheesa Collier in her exit interviews, we Unrivaled may be worried. The W may be worried next season. Napheesa Collier looks like she's coming for blood after that Game 5 and some of the calls that the Lynx got. But at the end of the day, none of that matters because New York has another banner in the rafters. Oh, yes, parade. I'm so mad. I am so mad of my scheduling of events that I have to hit a flight and go and leave somewhere the day of the parade. Oh, my gosh. Horrible timing. But it's just been a great season overall, Scott. I mean, it's always a great season for us, not to tout or anything. You know, we're way above 50% of our locks over all the seasons that we've been doing this. But man, it's just absolutely mind-boggling. And seeing Jonquel raise that MVP trophy, because it was like that was the cult of his. That was the what's the word I'm looking for?
The culmination.
Culmination of a great season because we gave out. We have to give out a dog, and it was just hey. She's won MVP before. We've seen her win it in the league. We saw her win it in Commissioner's Cup. She can get a Finals MVP. Jonquel Jones just solidified that when it's all said and done, she's going to get inducted in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I do want to ask you, though, about the MVP and about maybe Game 5 as a whole. Did you agree with the MVP? I know that we had money on it, but I'm saying in general, did you agree with that choice?
Yeah. I think Jonquel Jones has been the most consistent. I mean, granted, I thought Stewie was going to have some big, crazy game in the last game and steal it away, but she ended up not having the big game.
No, she had the rebounds. That was basically it. But
Jonquel Jones was very, very solid on both ends of the court all series, been consistent with, and so I think that was, and it was so on par for the WNBA and how they give out the MVP award. Like, even if it's a question, they're not afraid to go with the other person. Whereas in the NBA, if it's a question, they're going to go with the star regardless. So, that's another market that we just killed. The Finals MVP market. Like, you can really, really get some good value in the MVP market.
Yep, definitely can. I don't want to spend too much time on Game 5. Do want to talk about it a little bit. I know winning is winning, and I understand all that. What do you think of the game? because we heard some comments from Reeves post-game about how they felt like the title was stolen from them. We can go into that. The officials were definitely, I'd say, impactful. I'm honestly underselling it because the Liberty shot 30% from the floor, 30.6, and they went 2 of 23 from 3. And they still won because they had 25 free throws compared to 8. And I feel like I mentioned it in that Game 5 preview. The only thing Sandy did well or did right in the entire series was complain about the officiating after Game 4. That was
Yeah.
the only thing she did right in the entire series, and it paid off. So I do want to ask you, the last foul that was called that led to the Stewie free throws, did you like the call, hate the call? Did you think the officiating was biased towards the Liberty, or do you think the Liberty were just bigger, and that way they were automatically going to attack the rim more?
Well, I'll tell you that in just a second. But first, I got to talk to you about Underdog Fantasy, making sure you tap into their big menu of NBA, NFL, WNBA, college football, MLB, NASCAR, all of that. Boostober is upon us. So, NBA, all the NBA pick'em entries will be boosted through the 27th. So, make sure you go get those boosts. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. Yeah, I did not like the officiating in the game. I could definitely see where I'm like, this game is completely biased towards the Liberty, even though it did happen. If I was on Lynx, I would 100% been mad, 100%. But I wasn't. I was on the Liberty, so I was like, oh well, oh that kind of sucks, man. Yeah, and I'm just kind of over there in the peanut gallery, eating and like, yeah, bad officiating as I'm cashing Liberty tickets. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it was clear bias. I do think the commissioner of the league is for sure biased towards the Liberty. Uh, but I think that it was good enough where now the Liberty can say after the partying, and it's not going to happen anytime soon, but after the partying, after everything comes down, and you get this, hey, you look at this roster for next year, you say, hey, everybody else is about to try to get better in the offseason. If we can get a step better, we can go do this again because the Aces are coming back. The Storm are coming back. The Lynx are coming back. I think the Sun are going to be competitive again. You have the Fever on the rise. Like the league is going to get better. So yeah, 100%.
I do agree with Molly though, talking about how she thought that Brianna ended up traveling before the foul call. I agree. I thought Brianna took a couple steps, kind of shuffled her feet there. You tend to call that. They didn't call it. Then they called the foul at the
Mm-hmm.
end. I'm not surprised that the foul was not overturned in the final 5 seconds of a title game. I'm not surprised. Once they made the foul call, I'm like, oh, they're not going to overturn that. You could argue that they were going to, or that maybe it looked like they would, but I'm not surprised that's how it unfolded once they made the foul call. Props to Stewie, though, for actually making the free throws. She got
This
to
time,
avenge what happened in game
this
one.
time,
Yeah, I was going to say, she technically blew game one because she missed the free throw. That would have won it. And she made both of them when it mattered. She also missed 2 free throws right before it.
I know.
But
I was literally about to say, yo, like
but
we almost lost that game because
correct.
of her.
She bricked 2 free throws before that, but at least she made the final 2, which sent
Mm-hmm.
the game to overtime. So Stewie kind of avenged herself, didn't exactly do too well down the stretch anyway, but she made those 2, and that's all that matters. Then you got to talk about Sabrina, who I think had the worst closeout game or elimination game I've ever seen in my entire life, and they won the game. She was 1 of 19. 1 of 19. Now, she had 7
Mm-hmm.
rebounds, 8 assists. Kobe Disciple goes 1 of 19.
Naira Sabali should have gotten a bouquet of flowers, any size steak she
She
wanted.
was great in that
She
game.
she should have been able to go to the movies and get the extra large popcorn. Like anything Naira Sabali wants, she gets.
For the stats, by the
She
way,
gets.
she had 13 points in 17 minutes. That was a big change. That's something Sand did right. She brought in Sabali to kind of add more physicality, and it worked because nobody could hit a jump shot. So they just decided to attack the rim, which was effective. But I got to mention Sabrina because 1 of 19.
Yeah,
Like, I know
horrible.
that she won a title, and you're expecting her to
Horrible.
definitely perform better in this moment in the future. I don't know if it's going to impact maybe the way that I view her in the future, or maybe just in the back of my mind. I'm always going to think of 1 of 19. That's generationally bad. Generationally. That's one of the worst shooting performances I've ever seen. So I wanted to mention it. The one shot she did make, though, was late in the fourth quarter. Did have a three-pointer, which kind of helped out. But damn, I thought she was awful. Her and Stewie combined to go a casual 5 of 34 from the floor, and they still won. So, yes, officiating mattered, and I understand all that. On the other hand, though, for Minnesota, you kind of have to win that game. When the other team's two best players go 5 of 34, you kind of have to win that game. So, there you go.
All right, Scott, I'm going to give you a second, let you ponder, and let you give out any futures bet, whether it's championship, MVP. That's how we'll close the show out. Uh, Whatever futures bet, MVP, championship market you want to give out early on, we can do that. There was a time that Liberty was 100 to 1 to win the championship, and we gave it out. They got to the final game and then lost, and that was a tough time, but maybe we can find, lightning in a bottle again. Hey, teams can only be a trade away or a signing away, and then you can be in the conversation 100%.
Well,
So,
to get into that, though, we do have to at least open up the conversation about all the coaching changes that happened, because a
yeah,
lot of teams that were bad ended up firing their coach. I do want to ask if you believe any of those coaching changes, maybe they didn't hire anybody else new yet. Do you believe all the firings were deserved from what we got around the league?
probably not, but it doesn't really matter anymore.
So
I,
which one
I, I
bothered
mean,
you the most?
the one that hurts my heart, that truly hurts my heart, is Eric Tebow getting fired in Washington. That was a generational run,
The first
like
half,
a
God.
generational run to take over from your dad and then go, and this Mystics first half thing just be rolling and rolling and rolling year after year. We're never gonna get that back again. We are never going to get that back again.
I'm
We
convinced
may
that they want
find things that are similar, we may find things that make us happy, but we are never going to get that Mystics first half trend back again. Like, that is something that is gone, and that is something that hurts my heart. And honestly, it's the only thing that I'm thinking about through all these coaching changes. Like, I'm ready to see who is in new places. I think Teaspoon got done the worst out of everybody, but Eric Tebow is just hurting my heart right now. I can't. I'm about to cry on camera
I
again.
just don't know what exactly some of these teams expected. I can understand if you expected, for example, we'll go with the Wings. Satu misses a decent portion of the season. You're like, okay, she's going to come back. Maybe they'll figure it out. They were terrible. Like, I can understand why they ended up firing her. The Dream made the playoffs. I didn't think they were that great. We've been critical of her coaching the entire season. She got fired too. The Mystics one, I don't get what you wanted from the coach. You lost Deladon. You lost pretty much most of your key players. Sykes got injured again. Austin was injured for a decent portion of the season. You were 1 day away from making the playoff. In fact, you ended up winning against the Fever in the last game of the season. It wasn't your fault that the Sky blew out. The Sky got blown out, and you ended up not making the playoffs in the final day. But what exactly did you expect from your team going into the year? Deladon left, and a lot of your players were still injured. I understand that
And
we've been
you know
critical.
what?
They've been a great
It's
first
not.
half team, bad full game team, but what exactly do you expect to happen?
It's not Eric Tebow's fault that the games are 40 minutes. It's not. He's a 20-minute man. Hey, some people take a while to get things done. He gets them done in the first 20 minutes and it boom, up out of there. Doesn't even matter. I mean, it's not his fault. Oh man, the Les Miles scandal was probably the only other coach that had a trend as strong as the Mystics first half, because it didn't matter how many points Les Miles and Kansas were getting. They weren't covering at all. At all. But oh man, this one really hurts. This one really, really hurts. We are going to miss you. We should have a funeral. Should have a funeral for Mystics first half. Um
For the
Great
record,
trend.
the one that bothered me the most was Stephanie White, because I don't know what the hell you wanted from her.
No, she chose not to come back.
No, but I'm just saying the fact that like they couldn't work something out there, I thought was I'm sure she'll find another job. I think she's a good coach. I don't know
Yeah,
what the Sun are gonna do, but
I think that was more of Stephanie White deciding, hey, it's just time to move on from this. And I don't think that was the Sun. Like, I think that was a, hey, I don't think this is working out, guys. And she
okay.
she
So
could
so I
still
thought it
come
was
back. Like, it's
mutual.
not off the
Okay.
table. So she's talking to uh the Sun. She's talking to the Fever, and it was one other team. I forgot. I wish I had the page pulled up, but it's one other team. So she's not out of it to return to the Sun, but she's actually doing negotiations. Like she's not
Okay. So I
committed under
misunderstood
contract.
that. I thought the Sun were like I thought it was mutual that they were trying to get rid of her. My bad. Okay.
No, yeah, no. So she could come back, she could not, but we'll see. So, all right. Whew. Before we get to a quick futures bet, gotta talk to you about Bet US. Bet the best in the business with Bet US. Easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts. Bet US is live with Trick or Treat on Horror Street. From now until Halloween, Bet US will be offering daily promotions and a raffle entry to win a sports or casino prize pack that they will give away on October 31st. You can enter multiple times, and every $200 deposit gets you an entry. So, hey, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, #1 AI-powered sports betting platform. They team of data scientists have created a platform that really helps you get the AI betting model picks. You can build your own model, or you can use Rhythm AI models. So tap in with the NBA, tap in with NFL, college football. Make sure you claim your 7-day free trial at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. RITHMM. All right, Scott.
You want to start off with
Championship
title or
picture.
MVP? Okay.
I mean, you can do whatever. You can give out whatever you got.
Okay. Well, I feel like
Yeah.
it would make more sense for title, at least if we read off some of the odds before we said anything.
I'm going from bottom to top. I mean, I've seen the Golden State Valkyrie at some places 200 to 1. Right here where I'm looking at, they're 150 to 1. By the way, not a hot take. I don't think the Golden State Valkyrie are going to be the worst team in the league. I don't know who will. Pretty sure it's not going to be the Valkyrie. I think they're gonna pull a lot of good pieces onto this team. You got the first of the Becky Hammond coaching tree over there. It's going to be interesting. Los Angeles Sparks 125 to 1. Wings and Sky are 60. Wings, Sky, and Mystic 60 to 1. Dream 50 to 1. Mercury 40 to 1. Fever 15 to 1. Storm 12 to 1. Sun 7 to 1. Aces 4 to 1. Lynx plus 340. And the New York Liberty plus 175 as the favorite. Scott, early thoughts.
Well, based on what we saw in the finals with the Liberty winning, there's no chance I'm picking this team to repeat. No chance. At least at this price. If they get Sawtooth, then we can reconsider it. But damn, I was not that impressed by this team down the stretch of games. And Sandy had now has 2 titles, I believe, because she won one with Phoenix. Might be the worst 2-time champion coach I've ever seen. But point is, I'm not going to take them at this price at 175. They were more fun when they were behind the Aces and some other teams potentially when the season started. Now at 175, I'll pass. I think there's too big of a gap. They're basically 2 times the odds of the Lynx and about 2.5 times the odds of the Aces, or vice versa. You know what I'm trying to say. Give me the Aces at around 4 to 1. I think it's a great price. I know the Aces kind of struggled a bit last year. This team's always aggressive when it comes to acquiring new talent. They never get complacent. They're always willing to try to improve when needed. And it does seem like after what happened last year, or this past year, I should say, I think they'll do a better job. It just seemed like they couldn't really connect the way that they wanted to. Becky mentioned it in some of the overall press conferences during the actual series against the Liberty. Seemed like the chemistry wasn't there. The roster wasn't that great. Chelsea Gray was coming back from an injury. She struggled for a decent portion of the year. It just seemed like things didn't click. And I expect the Aces to be aggressive when it comes to fixing some issues, because they always have been in the past. So I like the Aces at 4 to 1. I think it's a great price. No offense to Minnesota. They're a great team, but plus 340 compared to 4 to 1 for the Aces. I'll take the Aces. I think that the Lynx had a great overall path to the final, facing off against the Sun, ignoring the Aces, and then facing off against the Liberty in the final. They had a pretty reasonable path, let's put it that way, with the Mercury and the Sun. And we know the Sun are bad in the playoffs every year. I'm not going to suddenly overreact to the Lynx. Yes, the revenge tour would be cool, but I think a lot of it is draw dependent. I'll go with the Aces. They faced off against the inevitable champions in the semifinals. I'm not going to roast them too much for it. Give me the Aces at 4-1.
All right. I do love the Aces as and I'm with you. I'm not going to echo everything. I'm pretty sure everybody knows the reasoning for the Aces. They have the greatest player on the planet. I think they're still a really good team. They have a really good coach, all that. So, Aces 4-1 for sure. Now, to make things interesting, because I believe that the Atlanta Dream issues were health and Tanisha.
Okay.
If you put a good coach in there, if they make a move in free agency, oh, the Atlanta Dream are so back. What? They would be so back. Oh my gosh. I think they're almost there. They have the space to make it happen in free agency. We'll see if anybody is tempted to go to Atlanta. I think that if they get the coaching hire right, the Atlanta Dream, one, they're going to make the playoffs. I think that they're going to make the playoffs. The fact that they made the playoffs with Tanisha Wright tells me that they're going to make the playoffs.
They
So
almost
this
beat the
number is going to
Liberty
come
in New
down.
York, by the way. People forget about that. They led at the half in game 2.
Yeah, like this dream team isn't horrible. This was just a move that bid needed to happen, and I think this could be the thing that catapults them into the championship picture. They just need that other player. They just need to get a coach. So I dream at 50-1. So tempting. So yeah, 100%. I am gonna place a little bet on the dream to make a move here in the offseason. There's a lot of pieces that can move, but overall, yes, I do think the Aces, we're going to have a little back and forth between the Aces and Liberty here, and I think the Aces can go get another one.
Yeah, I do want to ask you, though, because you went long shot. I'll mention my somewhat long shot in a second. I'm assuming you do not like the price for the Liberty and the Lynx, correct?
No, you
Okay.
can get a better price live.
That's what I thought. The Liberty, I don't know if you can get that live, because if they end up being a 1 seed, that price might drop.
No,
But
you're going to get a better price. The Liberty are not going to dominate the regular season like that again. Like, they're going to lose a couple of games, and just like the Aces, they're going to fall to like plus 250, and then that's probably when you get it on the Liberty.
all right. Point is, though, I don't want the Liberty and the Lynx, but I do want the Aces. Sun at 7-1 is an absolute joke. That I can't take. I'll go with the Fever at 15-1. Are they going to get there? Probably not. I mean, they don't really guard anybody.
I don't know why you're lighting that ticket on fire.
Because if I had to go for a long shot, I do think the Fever have one of the best players in the league. And I do think if you're looking at a young team that got some experience, that I think maybe with a coaching change, you mentioned that White might potentially have an interview with Indiana. That's a possibility. If White goes to Indiana, that is fascinating because she might bring some defensive integrity to that team.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have any long shots. I feel like if I'm going for one team that I can at least talk myself into, Caitlin Clark, who I might mention again in a second, if she continues to be a top 5 player in the league, it's been one common theme with WNBA. You need an absolute superstar if you're going to win. Collier is a superstar. A lot of people didn't notice that until now. I know we did, but she finished second in MVP voting. She's a top 5 player. We saw Stewie, who is a top 5 player despite not having the best series. She's up there too. You're going down the line. You have Asia Wilson. You can trace back pretty much every WNBA champion for a long time. You tend to need to have a top 5 player in the league minimum. They have that in Caitlin Clark. So I think that's going to be at least one box that you can check off. And if they can get slightly better defensively, maybe make a move here or there, get added experience, that might be good enough for me. Do I think they're going to win it? No. But at 15-1, I don't mind that price. I'll put it this way. I prefer the Fever at 15-1 than the Sun at 7-1.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way.
but the
So
Sun are
there you
never
go.
gonna. The Sun are just destined to never win.
That's my
but
point. So you're going to give me 2 times the odds, basically, for the Fever over the Sun. And we know the Sun are going to be always underachieving in the playoffs because they can't score. Give me Caitlin Clark to find a way at 15-1. Is it going to win? Probably not. But I think the price is decent.
That's one team that we'll see. It's going to be interesting if what they're able to do in free agency. They need
But
to
if
make a move in
White
free
goes
agency.
there as
If
a
they
coach,
don't make a move, they
that's
have
a
no
big
shot.
get.
Kelsey
If
Mitchell is a free agent. If they just roll back with this exact same group, they're not winning. But if they make a move, then I could 100% see it. All right. Any thoughts on MVP real quick before we close out of here? We've got there we go. All right, Asia Wilson. Jesus Christ, these numbers. All right, Asia Wilson sitting there at plus
For
185.
the record, she was even money last year, as a reminder.
Yeah, that's really insane. Plus 250 for Caitlin Clark, 6-1 for Brianna Stewart, plus 650 to Fisa Collier, Sabrina Ionescu, 19-1, 30-1, Alyssa Thomas, Kelsey Plum, 50-1, Enrique, 50-1, Ryan Howard, 50-1, 60-1 for Kalia Copper and Brittany Griner. Angel Reese 80-1, Jewel Lloyd 80-1, Jackie Young 100. What? Jackie Young 100-1, Neka Gumake 100-1, Satsu Sabli 125-1, Jocko Jones 125-1, Aaliyah Boston 150-1.
And your girl, of course, Kennedy, is at 150 to 1 as well.
Oh yeah, I missed that at the bottom. Kenny Carter. Shout out to Kenny Carter. It's my dog. All right.
I mean, Asia at 185 is pretty ridiculous, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, what are they? Do they think the voters have voter fatigue?
That could be the argument. I know that the main reason why it was even money last year was based on potential makeup award narratives after Stewie won it the
Yeah.
previous year, which we were all over, and that was never in doubt. Not because of makeup awards, but because Asia Wilson had the best season, arguably, in the history of the league.
Yeah.
So she can have a season that's not even as good as the one she just had and
I
still
still
win.
win.
It just won't be unanimous. And you're getting almost 2 times the price because it was about even money, and now it's plus 185. Asia might be an auto bet every year. She's so much better than everybody else. She's going to walk into basically what, 26-11 every year.
Like, you have to make up reasons to not give her the MVP award.
The only way she doesn't win is basically by narrative, or if Caitlyn somehow walks into like 25, 7, and 8, like something insane. I gotta go Asia. I think I have to go Caitlyn. I think I have to because she was so good for the last couple months of the regular season. If she can do that for an entire season, she will be a finalist. She'll be in the running. It's pure chalk for me. Stewie, I don't see winning. Collier, you can make an argument for. We can talk about that.
No,
I
I'm
don't
I'm
see.
I'm betting Collier.
Yeah, but
This is
I was gonna say
I
I
mean,
see mostly chalk here. I don't see many potential long shots to give it a run. So I'll go with Asia, Caitlin, and Collier and call it a day.
I don't know how you can possibly not bet Asia. Uh
That's a
Becky
crazy
Hammond
price.
Becky Hammond said that like they are so committed to helping her achieve every single award possible. And like when you already have the awards, what do you do next? You got to be the one that has the most.
Mhm.
You got to be the one that has the most.
And they're not
Like
stat
she still
padding. They
as
have to
it's
play
so
through her.
yeah, like you gotta be the one to win the most. And there's still accolades for her to win, believe it or not. Like there's still accolades for like I don't understand how without injury she doesn't win this award again. Like she's just that much better than everybody else. Like it's not even close. So
Do you agree about Caitlyn, though? I don't want to say that's a narrative pick, but based on how well she played in the last couple of months of the season and with the media storm, etc., if she's like very, very good, she might win it without being better than Asia. Because the narrative
yeah,
and the media pressure will be pushing Caitlin Clark.
that's the only way that I would see it is just a narrative pick. It's not really for me. I just won't think that she's better than Asia Wilson. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fair.
But uh I do think that for in terms of winning money, the media, if it's close, they're gonna find any reason to give it to Caitlyn. Like
There is a
any
path
reason.
for Caitlin to win. I cannot say the same about most of these candidates.
Yeah.
So that's good enough for me. And Collier, we know, is second last year, and she's just great. So that's the case you need. I think it's
All
going to be
right.
chalky again.
Scott, it's been a great year, man.
Yeah,
Anything else for people before we get up out of here?
not really. It was a lot of fun. Liberty Bibberty won a title. Feels pretty good. Controversy, I don't give a damn. It's a title. I'll take it. New York needed it. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, overall, it was a great season. I know that the locks and dogs were solid. The futures were solid. Shout out to John
hmm
Quell cashing the 25 or 35 to 1 MVP ticket in the finals. Yeah, overall, great season. Now we're officially NBA people again.
Well, for the time being, because Scott's Unrivaled is on the way.
Okay.
Unrivaled will have betting odds. Guess who's gonna find their way down to Miami in January for Unrivaled. Oh, this guy. I'm 100% locked into this 3-on-3 basketball. 100%. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I'm gonna find a way to bet it. And gonna try to be profitable again. So women's basketball coming back really soon. College on the way too. Think UConn and USC gonna have really good years.
Well, how
So
good is
yeah.
USC besides Watkins? Are they like stacked besides Watkins, or is she gonna have to
Mm,
carry?
I mean, she's always gonna carry for the most part, but and you're able to do it, like, but I think that they did put a lot more pieces around her. They're still rather young, so I think USC is gonna be pretty good. USOC is gonna be really good, and
They're good every year.
I'm looking forward to seeing a matchup between Dawn and Gino for sure. I would
Mhm.
love for that to happen in the finals. So yeah, I think, but ultimately Paige Beckers has to be, if she doesn't win this year, she's gonna be the best player to leave UConn without a title. So
Yeah.
I think she's 100%. They're gonna be so locked in. They were right there, and they were injured to hell and back last year. So I'm all the way in. I think Trevor was asking for futures for any other sports. Give me UConn women to win the championship. That is a future that I love. I think UConn women are gonna get it done this year.
I co-sign that.
All right. Appreciate everybody that came along the way with us. Thank you. Come join us for the NBA. Hoops never ends. So come join us for the NBA, and we will be back next year with the WNBA Gambling Podcast. With that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to end like this. Love you all. We are out of here.